Now, let me talk about why I went live this morning. Let me talk about why I went live this morning. The reason, happy to be nappy. We always happy to be nappy. We always happy to be nappy. The reason I went live today is I want to talk about the extermination campaign against the American African people. I'm trying to figure out why the American African people are more concerned about a presidential election than stopping black on black homicide in our community. I'm trying to figure out why the American African people are more concerned about a presidential election than stopping black on black homicide in our community. Ifa Tunde 3 times. I am concerned about why the American African people from California to Kalamazoo, from Flint, Michigan to Florida, from Detroit to Des Moines, Iowa. I'm trying to figure out why we are more concerned about voting than we are about stopping the homicide crisis in our black community. And do you know what bothers me the most as a social scientist? Do you know what bothers me so much as a social scientist? What I find so egregiously unacceptable as a social scientist? Black people act as if we are not living within the context of black on black genocide. Do you realize we don't even ask the presidential candidates about the violence in our community? We don't even ask the governors about the violence in our community. We don't ask the mayor. We act like black men are not exterminating each other on a daily basis. How did we become so immune to black on black crime? How did we become so immune to the tears of black women, the tears of black mothers? All these black mothers across America have had to bury their sons and their daughters. They've had to mourn in silence because the community doesn't care enough to embrace them. Our black mothers have had to endure the pain of losing their babies and not having a sympathetic community shoulder to cry on. How did we get to the point where black on black homicide is not even a concern for most black people? Let me put this in context. Let me resensitize you to black on black homicide. Black men are the leading cause of death for black men. I want you to sit on that for 1 minute. I want you to sit on that. Black men are the leading cause of death for black men. Arabs are not the leading cause of death for Arabs. East Indians, Kamala Harris's people, they are not the leading cause of death for themselves. European Jews are not the leading cause of death for European Jews. Anglo-Saxons are not the leading cause of death for Anglo-Saxons. Chinese are not the leading cause of death for China. Black men are the leading cause of death for black men. And the black community is completely silent. Those three black women who sat on the panel in Chicago representing the National Association of Black Journalists, those three black women who sat on that panel in Chicago with Donald Trump representing the National Association of Black Journalists, they didn't ask him a single question about his plans to reduce black on black violence. And let me be clear, although black on black violence is a black problem, it is completely engineered by the white power structure. Every ingredient that goes into black on black crime is engineered and introduced by the white power structure. The unemployment, engineered and introduced by the white power structure. The poverty, engineered and introduced by the white power structure. The guns, the weapons, engineered and introduced by the white power structure. But our three sisters didn't ask him a single question, because black on black fratricide is not a concern for black feminists, because they don't care about black men anyway. Black on black homicide is not a concern for black feminists, because they don't care about black men anyway. But yet you will turn around and say, we don't have enough black men. We don't have no good black men. But you do nothing to save the lives of black boys to make sure your daughters will have good black men. But I digress. Let me put black on black homicide in perspective. A black boy in America is 23 times more likely than a white boy to be shot and killed by someone who looks like him. I want to say that one more time. A black boy in America is 23 times more likely to be shot and killed by someone who looks like him than a white boy. 23 more times. Since y'all act like we don't have a black on black crime epidemic, I want to resensitize you, because you have been desensitized. And I'm trying to understand how y'all go to church every Sunday. Y'all go to the masjid every Friday. Y'all go to the temples on Sunday, claiming to worship God. Oh, yes. I'm talking to all the religions. African spiritualists, you are not exempt. African spiritualists, you are not exempt. My Yoruba devotees, my Igbo devotees, my Lukumi, my Palo, my Santeria, my Voodoo, my Dogon, my Akan, you are not exempt. All black people participate in religious service, claiming to serve God, claiming to worship God, and yet you do nothing in your religious centers to address black on black crime. You go to church every Sunday and y'all don't do nothing in church to address black on black crime. Y'all don't do anything in the Muslim masjids to address black on black crime. You don't do anything in the Jehovah Witness temple, the Roman Catholic Church, the Ifa, the Elays of Ifa, the Akan, the Dogon, the Voodoo. We don't do nothing. We are a bunch of spiritual hypocrites. Spiritual hypocrites. If your religious center, if your church, your mosque, your Elay is doing nothing to address black on black crime, then we are a bunch of religious hypocrites, spiritual hypocrites, and you wonder why the Almighty does not address our problems. You wonder why the Almighty does not respond to black people's prayers. God don't have a reason to listen to us. We are an embarrassment, not just on earth. American Africans are an embarrassment in heaven. I'm going to say it again. And I don't care who don't like it, because I am Mr. Unapologetically African. I don't care who don't like it, because I am Mr. Unapologetically African. I don't care who don't like it, because I'm Mr. Unapologetically African. We are not only an embarrassment on earth, the American African family is an embarrassment in heaven. Your ancestors are embarrassed of you. Your spirit guides are embarrassed of you. The Orisha, the Loa, the Abusum, the Netters of Kemet, they are embarrassed of you. You run around calling yourself a Kemite. You run around calling yourself a Kemite. Our ancient Nile Valley ancestors, they don't recognize you. They don't claim you. You got black boys out here killing each other out of desperation, and you calling yourself a spiritual devotee of the Most High. Make it make sense. Truth be told, the African spiritual community is just as hypocritical as the mainstream Muslim and Christian community. I said, truth be told, the African spiritual community is just as hypocritical as the mainstream Muslim and Christian community. Brothers and sisters, I'm speaking for the ancestors. I'm speaking for all of those who have died. We protest whenever the police kill us. Why isn't there a march every time one of us kills us? We protest when the police kills us. Why isn't there a march every time one of us kills us? Because we don't care about black people killing black people. And then we got a dysfunctional, parasitic, gangster rap hip hop community. And then we have a dysfunctional, parasitic, gangster rap hip-hop community that glamorizes, glorifies, and popularizes black-on-black crime. I said it glamorizes, glorifies, and popularizes black-on-black crime. Fake-ass hip-hop community. These fake-ass rappers defending the lyrics in their music that perpetuates and glorifies and glamorizes black on black crime. And when you try to hold them accountable for their lyrics, they say gangster rap is not hip hop. When you try to hold them accountable for their lyrics, they say gangster rap is not hip hop. When you try to hold them accountable for the filth that they purvey in their music, they turn around and say gangster rap is not hip hop. So if gangster rap is not hip hop, if gangster rap is not hip hop, you cowards of the hip hop community, if gangster rap is not hip hop, why is it okay for gangster rap to be hip hop at the BET Awards? Why is it okay for gangster rap to be called hip hop when it's time for the music awards, the Grammy Awards, the Soul Train Awards? It's okay for gangster rap to be called hip hop any other time of the year. It's okay for gangster rap to be called hip hop any other time of the year until you want to hold hip hop accountable for gangster rap. Then all of a sudden, gangster rap is not hip hop. Then all of a sudden, y'all notice the hypocrisy of the gangster rappers, the hip hop community. Gangster rap is hip hop any other time. Gangster rap is hip hop 364 days out of the year. But so when you say we're going to hold the hip hop community guilty for gangster rap, all of a sudden, gangster rap ain't hip hop no more. Because they don't want to hold the gangster rappers accountable. Even the conscious rappers don't want to hold the gangster rappers responsible. Nobody cares about the life of black men, not even black men. Nobody cares about the life of black men, not even black men. Nobody cares about the life of black men, not even black men. Let me get back. So a black boy is 23 times more likely to be murdered by another black boy than a white boy is likely to be murdered by another white child. Let's put gun violence in perspective. Black on black male assassination, black on black male execution is so big of a problem. Black on black elimination is so big of a problem that black on black extermination is how do I say this correctly? It is 19 times as big of a cause than the next biggest cause of death for black men. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. Black on black male assassination is 19 times bigger than the next cause of death for black men, which is suicide. I'm going to say this again. I don't think y'all hear me. I'm going to say this again. I need y'all to understand this. Black on black male assassination is the leading cause of death for black men. The second leading cause of death for black men is suicide, right? But the gap between homicide and suicide, the gap between black on black male homicide and black male suicide, black on black male assassination is 19 times bigger of a problem than the next cause of death, which is suicide. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? And you worrying about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. How can Donald Trump and Kamala Harris be more important to you than we as a community stopping the violence in our community? How can Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, neither one of them care about black people, neither one of them are a black person, how can that be more important than us stopping our young people from our young people? Let me tell you why. You can ignore black children. You can ignore that. You can ignore black children, and you will go straight to Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Do you want to know why? Most of you have abandoned the black community after you earned your master's degree. You could care less what happens in the black community. Most of you are black bourgeoisies, petty bourgeoisie, middle class bourgeoisie, upper bourgeoisie. 99% of you Negroes have abandoned the black community, and you therefore could care less what happens to your nieces and nephews who still live there. You could care less about what happens to your little brothers and sisters who still live there. You could care less about the children of the people you grew up with who still have to live there. You moved out. That's why y'all don't talk about black on black violence, because most college educated blacks, PWI and HBCU, most college educated blacks, PWI and HBCU, you have moved into a white community or a mixed community. You don't live in a black community, so you don't give a damn about black on black crime, because you don't come into the ghetto except to work in the hospitals, except to work in the public schools, except to work in your city job. You don't come into the ghetto no more. You could care less. That's why. Black men, you political cowards. Most of you moved out the community as soon as you could, and you only go back to exploit the athletic ability of young black boys on your football team. Black men only go back to the community to exploit the athletic talent of black boys on your basketball team. Black men only go back to the black community to exploit the athletic talent of our black boys. You don't give a damn about the black community. You just need the athletes. You ain't no better than the NBA, the NFL, or the NCAA. NCAA, National Association of Coons who approximate African athleticism. National Association of Coons who approximate African athleticism for personal benefit. NCAA. I just gave y'all a new name. I just gave y'all a new name. That's why black on black crime is not a conversation, because it doesn't bother the well-to-do blacks. And the media only puts the well-to-do blacks on television. The media only puts the well-to-do blacks on television. The media only puts the well-to-do blacks on television. You never hear from the working class blacks, and you never hear from the underclass blacks. You never hear from the impoverished black people. That's why black on black crime isn't a mainstream issue, because the middle class black America, working upper class black America, they could care less. You school teachers don't care. You city workers don't care. You comfortable. You could pay for your kids to go to a private school. That's why y'all support school choice. That's why y'all support school choice. School choice ain't no solution for a single black mother in the hood with 4 kids. She can't offset the cost of tuition. So what if the school district gives her a couple $1,000 voucher? So what if the school district gives her a couple $1,000 voucher to send her kid to a private school? She can't pay the difference in the tuition. You get $5,000 to send your kid to a private school from the Flint schools, or the Muskegon schools, or the Kalamazoo schools, or the Detroit schools, or the Inkster schools, or the Highland Park schools. They give you a $5,000 voucher, but tuition is $20,000. They give you a $5,000 school choice voucher, but tuition is $20,000. They give you a $5,000 school choice voucher, but tuition is $20,000. How is that a solution for our single black mothers? We don't care about black on black crime. I heard a Negro say Barack Obama gave us health care. Health care. He ain't do nothing about black on black crime. Walk into the ghetto and ask them what the #1 problem in the ghetto is. Nobody's going to say health care. Nobody's going to say voter registration fraud. Healthcare and voter registration fraud are not a top 5 problem in the black community. Healthcare and voter registration fraud, that's not a top 5 problem in the black community. Nobody in the ghettos of Detroit, or the ghettos of Baltimore, or the ghettos of Oakland, or the ghettos of Fort Worth, Texas, or the ghettos of Chicago. Nobody in the ghettos of Jackson, Mississippi, the ghettos of Little Rock, Arkansas, the ghettos of Fort Lauderdale, the ghettos of Georgia, the ghettos of Richmond, Virginia. Nobody's thinking about no damn voter fraud. You will never hear a black person in the hood talk about some damn voter fraud as a major problem. Voter fraud is a major problem for black bourgeoisie Negroes. Voter fraud is a major problem for black bourgeoisie Negroes. And then when we talk to the politicians about violence in the community, we ask them, what are they going to do to stop the violence? That is not the question you ask a politician. Political science 101. You don't ask the politician, what are you going to do about violence? That's not the question. We're supposed to tell them what to do about violence, not ask them what they're going to do about violence. You're supposed to tell them what they're going to do about violence, not ask them what they're going to do about violence. You're supposed to tell them what to do about violence, not ask them what to do about violence. If you ask them what to do about violence, you know what they're going to give you: more white police and more white prisons. If you ask them what they're going to do about violence, they're going to give you more white police and more white prisons. If you ask them what to do about violence, they're going to give you more white police and more white prisons. You don't ask them, you tell them, we need industries in the black community. Who's going to tell Kamala Harris we need industries in the black community that hire black men with livable wage jobs, and ex-offenders, black men and women with livable wage jobs? We need industries in the black community. Bring a factory to the black community. Bring a factory to the black community. My gangster rappers, let me talk to my gangster rappers. You fake ass hip hop artists who don't do nothing in the black community but give out sneakers and turkeys. Yeah, you Negroes. You Negroes who will cancel Drake, but Eminem has full access. Cancel Drake, but Eminem got full access. Cancel Drake, but Eminem is the GOAT. Let me talk to you hypocrites. If there's one thing that perturbs me about the hip hoppers, if it's one thing that perturbs me about the hip hoppers, For all the Gucci and all the Louis and all the Air Jordan and all the Balenciaga and all the designer names that you Negroes parade around on your bodies like cheap slaves. The one thing gangster rap could have done for the black community, the one thing gangster rap could have done for the black community. Why didn't you make Nike build a factory in the black ghettos of America to employ black men? I'm going to say it again. Do you know that our rappers could have got together and made Nike build a factory in the black community to give our people jobs? Do you realize the gangster rappers could have got together and went to Mercedes-Benz and BMW? And they could have said, for all the Benzes and Mercedes that we buy from y'all, y'all going to put a Mercedes factory in the black community. Y'all going to put a BMW factory in the black community. All those expensive cars y'all like to drive, the Teslas, make Tesla put a factory in the black community and give our people some jobs. You like Gucci, make Gucci put a factory in the black community and give us jobs. You like Louis Vuitton, make Louis Vuitton put a factory in the black community and give us some damn jobs. That's what hip hop could have done for us. That's what hip hop should have done for us. That's what hip hop could have done for us. 50 years and no solutions. 50 years and no institutions. 50 years and no resources. You can go to war for Eminem, but you can't go to war for black boys. You can go to war for DJ Khaled, but you can't go to war for black boys. You can defend Culture Vulture, DJ Vlad, but you can't defend the life of black boys. I didn't ask you what Nike wanted to do with the influence of hip hop in black culture. Black people are the trendsetters. Black people are the trendsetters of the planet Earth. The American African is the trendsetter of the planet Earth. If all the hip hop artists came together and told Nike, you're going to build a factory in the black community or we will never wear another Nike. You're going to open up a Mercedes-Benz factory or we will never buy another Mercedes-Benz. You're going to open up a Louis Vuitton factory in the black community or we will never buy another Louis Vuitton. I didn't say ask them. I said tell them, you Negro peon. First of all Negro peons, get off my damn chat. Bunny hoppers, get off the damn chat. I forgot I had to get you parasites off my feet. All you parasites, get off my damn feet. You Negro peons, you bunny hoppers, you snow puppy lovers, get your ass up off my feet. I'm not talking to you. Get your ass off my live. Get your ass off my live. Ain't nobody talking to you. Damn parasites. You ain't nothing but a community parasite. Get your ass off my feed. Go make love to your bunny with the flat booty. Get your ass off my feed. Go make love to your bunny with the flat booty. Get your ass off my feed. Go make love to the bunny with the flat booty. She ain't got no damn Cinnabons. She ain't got no honey buns. She got a brick wall waiting for your ass, a pale brick wall. But let me stay focused, brothers and sisters. Let me stay focused.